Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I'm asking the question, how do we ensure that the FBI's need for a new surveillance tool doesn't end up surveilling all of us? Now, there have been various outlets that have been reporting on this. A lot of my notes here are coming from Engadget. Feel free to look these up, but according to an RFP or request for proposal from the FBI, it's looking for an early alerting tool that would help it monitor things like terrorist groups, domestic threats, and criminal activity, and on and on and on. Now, this tool would provide FBI access to full social media profiles of persons of interest. Now, this could basically give them information like users' IDs, email addresses, IP addresses, telephone numbers. The tool would also allow the FBI to track people based on location, enable persistent keyword monitoring, and provide access to personal social media history. Now, according to this RFP, and I quote, "The mission-critical exploitation of social media will enable the Bureau to detect, disrupt, and investigate an ever-growing diverse range of threats to U.S. national interests." Now, what I find very interesting in this is, obviously we've known that there's been surveillance for years. They're looking for basically a very deep data mining tool here. And we've had some issues in the last couple of years with the US government basically data mining or surveilling people that weren't necessarily persons of interest. Earlier this year, the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, actually sued the US government over its use of social media surveillance of immigrants coming into this country. And also, the Trump administration has proposed allowing officials basically access to social media accounts of Social Security disability recipients to basically ensure that they are indeed disabled, which, again, could be considered a violation of the privacy of rights. So, and I've done videos on this before, if you're coming into the country, as a potential immigrant, be prepared to give up your social media account information so that they can go through it to ensure that you're not a death to America person, and overwhelmingly the vast majority of immigrants would not be. And so where's the balance of rights there? We also know in the past that the large social media companies, the Facebooks, the Googles, etc., are absolutely on board with allowing the federal government in the United States to basically dive in. Edward Snowden released a whole bunch of documentation on that, including the surveillance project called PRISM, which basically got major U.S. internet companies together with the government for intelligence sharing and all of that. And so the question becomes, where is the balance? Overwhelmingly, the vast majority of the global population, not just the United States, just want to live their lives day to day. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect, but most people are not planning on blowing things up or destroying governments and all this kind of stuff. And while that element definitely does exist, and I don't think anybody would disagree with an intelligence agency, looking to safeguard their homeland, their country, regarding this. I don't have any problems in that sense with the FBI. We work with the FBI, on various data breaches and all of that when we get called into one, and I know they're generally good people. But at the same token, we also have to balance the rights of privacy for individuals. And so that's the question. How do we ensure that if the FBI has this tool that is going to allow them to basically turn on keyword search through social media at will, and we know thanks to PRISM that the social media companies will let them do this pretty much at will, how do we end up ensuring that they're not going to surveil all of us in some major way? The NSA has been taken to task for this as well. So that is your question of the day. I think it's an important one to ask, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.